I'm Brandy Yates, and I'm here with Brett Dreyfus, the Meridian Township Clerk. The November general election is just around the corner on November 8th, and we want to make sure that you at home and all those voters have all the information they need for elections. Brett, thank you so much for joining me.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Well, first, I've seen lines at the clerk's office. Let's talk a little bit about absentee ballots.
It's exciting to see lines.
Yes.
I know our staff and myself sometimes feel like, wow, you know, it's a lot. People are backed up and it gets a lot of intensity. But it means people are excited, they're engaged, and they're here to vote. And it's early voting, so it's excellent.
So basically, how many have you mailed out?
So we've mailed out now close to 7,000 ballots.
Wow.
Somewhere, it varies obviously from day to day, but I believe the last count was about 6,700 or 6,800. That's quite a bit. That's more than we've had in previous elections.
Okay.
And of course, we get most of those ballots do come back to us.
Okay, and have most of them been returned yet, or do they still have some time?
It's a curve. It starts off slow and suddenly it accelerates dramatically. So at the end, of course, we get swamped. Just when we have more stuff to do, then it really piles on. But we expect to get back usually about 95% of the ballots that we send out as absentee voter ballots do come back to us by election day.
And then to be an absentee voter, what's kind of the criteria?
So absentee voting means that you can request via an application to get an absentee ballot for one of 6 reasons. Michigan has reasons. Some states have no reason absentee voting. Michigan has one of 6 reasons that you have to check off in order to get an absentee ballot. But it's extremely easy because all you have to do is state that you're not going to be at your polling location on the day of the election and you can get an absentee ballot. But the most common reason that someone gets an absentee ballot is because they're over the age of 60.
Okay.
We maintain an absentee ballot list, a permanent list that people can sign up for, but you have to be over 60 for that. We have about 3,600 people on that list, and that means that they automatically get an application to vote for every election. Next year, I'm going to be initiating an outreach to all people over the age of 60 that are voters using our QVF system, our state database, and so we're expecting to maybe double our permanent list in the future to maybe 7,000 or 8,000 people, so that means in the future there's going to be a lot more absentee voting. Several states in the United States have exclusively voting by mail, and they can vote early as well.
Okay, and so you kind of mentioned this is the more absentee voters this year than previous years, but that's the trend you're seeing. You
Yes.
think more people are going to be voting absentee in the future?
There's several trends at play here. One, an aging population. As the population grays, people are going to be much more likely to vote absentee. 2, there are more pressures on people's time right now, and people want to vote and get it done with and make it more convenient for themselves. And 3, nationwide, there's concerns also just about the whole election process in itself, and the whole dynamic has been shifting to allowing people more options.
Okay, so if people have absentee ballots at home or they still want to get one, what are some deadlines that they need to know?
So any Meridian Township registered voter can request an absentee ballot through Monday, November 7th.
Okay.
But there's a couple of caveats. Up through Saturday, you can request an absentee ballot and it could still theoretically be mailed to you, but we highly recommend that doesn't happen because if you get it mailed to you, you will not get it back in time. Okay. So you can come in up through Saturday. The clerk's office is open from 8 to 2 on Saturday. Before an election, every election, the clerk's office is open, and you can request a ballot and take it with you, or you can vote right here in the township building. On Monday, November 7th, you can still submit an absentee ballot request, but you can only vote in the township hall building.
Okay, and so can they return it up until through election day, or is Monday
Yes.
when you, okay.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out. So if a person takes an absentee ballot home with them because they want to think about it, which many people decide to do as well, they can still return it at any time up on election day up till before the polls close at 8 o'clock. Though we don't want you to do that. Please do not wait till 7:59 seconds, which we have had people do.
Really?
Wait till the very, very last second. But we've made a big change this year in how we process absentee ballots. So I
want to talk about that.
Yes.
So when you get absentee ballots, what happens to them?
So in the past, when we would receive absentee ballots, they all have to come to the clerk's office. We process them through the state database, QVF. Then they all get sorted, and then they go to all the individual precincts on election day. It's time consuming. There's some logistical issues. And we have those last minute stragglers coming in. And guess what? Yours truly has to run all over the township late afternoon and evening, last minute delivering ballots. It's really kind of chaotic, and it's not, I think, a very efficient method of doing things. We are now going to be initiating absentee voter counting boards, AV counting boards.
Okay.
We have 3 of them. Each one is each one's approximately 6 precincts. We have 6 precincts, and 7 precincts. Each one's treated like an actual precinct. All of it is going to be sequestered here at the Township Municipal Complex. It's going to be actually in the 2nd floor above the police station.
Okay.
All the absentee voters are separated into 3 groups, 3 boards, and all the absentee ballots get processed in this one location, and nobody can leave. They're sequestered because they get to open ballots, so they can never leave.
Yeah, they can't tell anyone.
And the police are there, so they can keep
Right.
everybody in line. People ask, what about bathroom breaks? And I go, nah, just kidding. You actually can. They can go to the bathroom and they can eat. But their role now is slightly different because of how they open the ballots. But this should do several things. It's going to make the polling locations, the workers' lives a little easier. It's going to make lines move quicker because there isn't a part of the whole polling location that's devoted to doing absentee ballots.
Oh, so there's more
room
yeah.
and more staffing directed towards helping the people who walk in the door. And the key thing, at the end of the night, we should be able to process all the ballots more quickly and get the results transmitted to the county more quickly and let the media and candidates and everybody else know faster. So it really is a big step forward.
Do other places do
All the
this?
largest jurisdictions in Michigan use an absentee counting board.
Okay.
We were looking into it, and we decided, because of the nature of this election and some other concerns, that we would just take the plunge now. We had some equipment needs we had to do. We had to change some procedures. So it wasn't just a simple, let's just do this. We had to actually work through it. And Joan Horvath, the deputy clerk, and myself really put ourselves to the task, and with just really 2 months to go, we were able to implement this new system, and I'm really excited and looking forward to it this election.
So when people think that when the absentee ballot comes here, you open it, that's not the case. It doesn't get opened until election night, and it gets processed in this new system.
So there's a common myth that somebody turns in an absentee ballot, and that someone in the back office opens it up and says, "Oh, you're voting for this person's voting for the Communist Party." We don't have a Communist Party, legitimate, but they're voting for something, and they go in the trash.
Not the case.
Not the case. It's totally secure. It's a felony to do that. Anybody that would do that could risk, obviously, going to jail. We take the integrity and security of the ballots extremely seriously. It's a separate locking door system, a secured system in the back. No one looks at any absentee ballot. They're simply processed and put into the system so that we know a vote has been cast. But we don't look at it, and on election day is the only day the votes are actually tabulated.
Well, thank you again, Brett, and don't forget to watch Home TV's live general election night coverage on Tuesday, November 8th for up-to-the-minute results as the ballots are counted. We'll begin at 8 p.m. I'm Brandy Yates. Thanks for watching.